Hello, guys. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 1. I feel like this reunion should have a title name just like all the other episodes. If I was to give this episode a title, aside from it being called the reunion part 1, I would call it Candiace reading the girls. Like, damn. Even though the season, I felt like it was okay, that not as strong as previous seasons, I was actually impressed and satisfied with this first reunion, and I do look forward to the second part of this reunion. So we start with the reunion, pretty much hearing about the the reasonably shady podcast that we know right now is being sued by Slim Shady because of name and trademark reasons. And so at first I'm like, what is this? This is like a different way in how we open up a reunion. We're kind of getting some of the what was going on in the press about Robin withholding information about Juan and the allegations with him and the woman in the hotel room receipt. And so I love this because it kind of gives us some catch up to what was actually going on during that time and before that reunion was filmed, you know? So we see a little bit of how they're gonna address Robin and that it is included in the reunion. So we're kind of not left hanging, even though, you know, with social media, I feel like new news is always coming out, so we're always gonna have to play catch up. So we see a little bit behind the scenes, all the girls, they're arriving to New York for the filming of the reunion. They're getting their glam, and all you see is like a frayed wig from Ashley, the blonde wig. I'm like, girl, what you got on? You could have got like a better wig to travel to come to see the reunion. I know that's not the one that you're gonna show on national TV, but still, you don't know what's gonna be included in the credits. So I saw a frayed wig. I saw some glam going on, and then we also see some wigs being installed. I just love the behind footage that we're getting. Like we seen behind the scenes footage before in previous reunions for other franchises, but this was actually quite nice. It's like very, you know, you feel like you're in the moment, and you know Andy, he's going to the rooms and he's like visiting the girls, giving them a heads up of what they're gonna talk about and whatnot to kind of pep them up, get the energy up. And I just like how this cast, there's good synergy. They all bounce off with each other. They look like, you know, people who are real friends or actually hang out or talk to and get to know each other for real, and not, you know, only for the show, even though it could be only for the show. So we get to see the set, and the theme is Miami, and I felt like it could give Miami. I don't know if I would say that was Miami. I felt like they had a lot of blue background. It looked like a lounge. Ooh, honorary. Because we talk about Peter so much, I do feel like we could have had like bar 1 as the backdrop of this set. Since the girls want to talk about Peter, and since Peter want to be included in the Real Housewives franchise so bad, that would have been a nice idea for a set backdrop. That would have been so cool. But the girls, they all had showed up in a dress that had blue in it, and I do like this color blue. Is it still the Ramona blue? Do we still want to call it the Ramona blue? Let's give it to these girls, the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is now their blue, because now I will forever remember all these dresses. Oh my God, Giselle's dress with the jewelry everywhere. I wish she would have picked jewelry in one area, like beading in one area. But I would say the best dress is Candiace, because she's referring a lot of reference to the Cookie Monster. So it's funny that they stuck with the theme of blue. Of course, Miss Wendy Osefo, she looked marvelous. Karen, I love Karen. I see a little tension. The wig is so super tight. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna shift. We're not gonna have any scandals like she had in the past with the wig moving and her saying, "Hold on." That wig is glued down. It is not moving. Who else? Everyone looks nice. Ashley looks nice. Ashley, she always give us like a dancer. Like she always look like a Dancing of the Stars kind of look. Mia, she giving us like a traditional. This look like a traditional housewife look, I would say. But they all look. Oh, I forgot about Robin. Oh, Robin. And Robin was okay. I like Robin's hair. Robin's very beautiful. I didn't like so much of her dress because I felt like the dress could have gave more, a little bit something. Even though I didn't like Giselle's look. Giselle's look stands out, but I feel like Robin's look is just like, it's just basic. So the girls introduce each other. Andy, he goes around, he gives everyone their hellos, their signature, send off message that's to show that the reunion is starting and we're gonna get into everyone's details. And I like when he stopped over by Robin and congratulated Robin to say that, she's finally married. And we see Karen giving a shady moment and she's yawning. And I'm like, Karen, stop. Like, seriously. So everyone is sharing a little bit of news before we start into the season. And Andy, he addressed actually the seating arrangements, and we never really had Andy kind of talk about the seating arrangements like he has in this season. So the girls, they're wondering why we're placed this way. Did you have a say in that? Andy tries to say that no, he doesn't get to pick any of the seating. It's really the producers, and they base their decisions on who's getting along with who. And the issue was with this franchise is that they have so much frictions with each other. It was quite a puzzle how to properly sit all the ladies and for it to be somewhat agreeable. And based on the seating arrangements, I think it was like, okay, if you have Mia, you have Robin. Robin doesn't have much issues with Mia, but they can tolerate each other. Then in between Robin, we have Candiace. And Candiace is kind of like, she takes a jab at Robin, but she's tolerable towards Robin. So then we have the Grand Dame. And Grand Dame, she's good with Candiace. So I thought that was a good seating arrangement for this side. Then for the other side of Andy, we have Giselle. And Giselle, she sat next to Ashley. And those two, they go out, they take, little jabs at each other, but they tolerate each other. And what was a little interesting was having Wendy sit next to Ashley, because I don't know how good their relationship is. Oh, honestly, no, because Ashley did have a moment where she recognized how the other girls were being mean, particularly Mia, towards Wendy. So she did took up for Wendy in that part. So I think, okay, good job, producers, for the seating arrangements. And that, I think this is the best kind of dynamic they had laid out here for the girls. I wonder if we're going to see, what's her name? If we're gonna Charisse, if we're gonna see Charisse, where Charisse is gonna sit, where is Charisse gonna sit? I wonder, and I can't wait to see that actually, just to see the theatrics of it all, So after addressing the seating arrangements, we finally get to start to get in on the girls. We didn't get to go in on all the girls, but everyone had their moment to interject, to have a say in this reunion. I would say that most of the girls were able to be engaging in this reunion, except Wendy. We heard a little bit of here and there of remarks from her, but not so much to say that she had like a significant good moment. She had a significant good moment piggyback off of Candiace, but it was not as like, we're probably waiting to see her do her real reads when it comes to addressing her situation with her and Mia. Robin, she was, doing what Robin does, so it wasn't that like much of a shock. I think I put so much emphasis on Wendy because, Wendy, she's good for giving us a good read, a good educated read like Candiace. But Candiace really held her own on this episode, which is why I gave her the title. The title of this episode should be Candiace Reading the Girls for Filth. Ashley was the first one on the hot seat. So we first got into Ashley. So for Ashley, remembering this whole season, Ashley was going through a divorce. Ashley was going through a living situation. She was going through with Mike. Even though we didn't see Michael so much. Did we see Michael? No. I don't remember if we saw Michael or not, but Michael was mentioned so many times he might as well got paid a cameo feature just for his name alone. And also we got a little bit into Ashley's dating life. Now with the divorce situation, unfortunately, Ashley says is not a payoff as everyone thinks it's gonna be. She did not secure a bag, unfortunately. That prenup that Michael set up with Todd, oh my God, it doesn't even fit much of anything. Like the way the prenup was structured, he set it up in a way that it was very favorable towards himself. So anything he came into the marriage with, of course, everyone assumed that's what he's gonna keep. It's gonna be his. But all the money that he made, that he then invested into other projects, would also be considered his because of the source of the money. And I'm like, damn, so Ashley really has to get an investigator to do like some sort of forensics to make sure where the source of the money came from, to really identify whether or not she has stake in that claim. Because, girl, I can't believe a man will leave her with nothing. Just gave her 2 kids, now she's off on her own and she has to figure things out. Come on. I think out of courtesy, Michael should at least take care of her living situation, as she said that he did. But if he did take care of your living arrangements and you have a house, why are you still responsible for a mortgage? You shouldn't even have to worry about it. You should have it all be paid off and all in your name, and you feel safe and secure not to have to think about that. I'm like, come on, Ashley, that's so unfortunate. And the girls, they're sad for her. And it's interesting, and it's just an interesting situation that she's in. And what she gets called out for is that Andy, he gave us a flashback moment referencing where Ashley said that Candiace was the least accomplished in the cast at that time. And here Ashley is unable to think like if she's gonna be able to afford the house that she's living now without Michael. Her rebuttal to that is that if there's a difference, because Candiace, she's relying on family help and she's an adult woman, whereas she has every right to rely on her husband because she was married to the man, had kids with the man, and that's different in that scenario, which I still feel it's harsh of Ashley. And she did apologize for being a mean girl towards Candiace. But I love Candiace read. Candiace read her. She's like, these girls were really mad that she had generational wealth, where Ashley has to think and worry where she's going to be able to find support from a so-called man who couldn't be faithful towards her. Like, girl, I would have some shame. Like, I would not. I don't know how Ashley does it. Like, the read that she gave Ashley, I don't know if Ashley could, like, come back from that. But, she is, always going to be shady and say, I can see you're still hurt by what I said in the past. And I'm like, don't gaslight Candiace. Like, come on. Like, it really made me reflect when she said that they were mad at her having generational wealth. And that Ashley can only hope that her child will be able to have a home, and she would want that for her child. I'm like, damn, why did I not see that then at that time? Thank you, Candiace, for taking us to school, because she really read her for that one. So the living situation is now, remember, Ashley is now living in the house. She's co-parenting with Michael. But what she comes to reveal to us is that Michael actually has a key to her place. And she has a key to his place. And she tries to say how that is normal, but it actually fails to realize that she has to kind of establish boundaries. And she learned this from an ex that she was dating after Michael, who she was dating, but they were having issues because of boundaries, of course. So, I don't know, I guess Ashley is just doing these kind of things, these kind of gestures to not like burn bridges, so Michael doesn't like cut off support completely. Because what she does get out from him, aside from child support, is that she got a house and also some sort of spousal support. She didn't say spousal support, but she said some sort of spousal support, so that she will never be in a financial bind, you know. So I don't know, Ashley. I just think it's so strange. You know, the new house is only 7 minutes away from Michael, and that's good for the sense of the kids. Like, it'll be easy to co-parent where both parents are not too far away from each other. But I do think they need to establish some sort of boundaries, you know. And as we know, part of the reason why Ashley was getting a divorce from Michael was due to the fact that she wanted monogamy and Michael Darby did not. Michael Darby wanted to live his life with as many people as possible, and that's his choice. But Ashley's choice is that she could no longer agree with an open marriage, open relationship, you know? And I can commend Ashley for that, her making decision of what she wants, and understanding that it doesn't fall in line with what Michael wants. So the divorce is the best scenario to move forward. Even though people critique and say, well, maybe she's doing the divorce because, you know, the prenup, is time for her to cash in on that prenup. And I wonder if she would have still gotten a divorce, knowing what she knows now about the prenup, would that have changed her decision to get a divorce? I think maybe strategy-wise, she will probably delay the divorce and stash away some money away in some sort of trust to set herself up, you know? But I think that, you know, we can never kind of guess what would it have been. But I do find it an interesting insight coming from Mia, because Mia, you know, even though Ashley wants monogamy, Mia, she does not share the same sentiments in having monogamy. You know, Mia, she understands how she got her husband, and how she got her husband is that he had a wife previously and she got into a relationship with him. And Mia understands how she got her husband, so she cannot change that and now requests monogamy because she views it as being unfair to her husband, which I thought was an interesting point. It's not for it's not for everybody, but it seemed like a aha moment for the other women who were looking at Mia's situation and looking at Ashley's situation. So that was Ashley under the hot seat. Now, is she off the hot seat? No, of course not. There's going to be more times where Ashley going to have to address some of the things she said this season. But right now, she's on pause. And let's move over to Mia, because Mia's now in the hot seat, girl. Bring herself forward. So with Mia, what she went through in this season is, remember, she had a health scare. She had to move out of Potomac after moving into Potomac, and also dealing with issues with her family. Oh, Mia had a rough season. First of all, Mia's health scare. She addressed this. We're all happy that Mia's doing better. She did give us an update where she talked about having possibly a hysterectomy because there's some growth in her reproduction area, which was very, heartbreaking to hear, especially hearing Giselle discussing about having a hysterectomy on this season too as well, going through it as well. So this is sad and unfortunate because her doctor has said is that they have found some findings of growth, and What was interesting, it was the speculation of possible breast implants illness or like injection illness from her having multiple, surgical operations like Botox or fillers and whatnot being the cause of her illness. And scardosis is actually caused by this kind of illness. So she does not have scardosis, but if she did, that would give an indicator that she does have breast implants illness or like filler illnesses that we have seen other celebrities coming forward and having removal of their implants due to the fact that the body is rejecting these foreign objects. She then get into addressing losing her business. Her family, her husband, is a part owner of the business, and he was voted off the island pretty much. So they were no longer able to have say on the day-to-day operations in the business. And this was due to the fact that there was critiques of how they were spending, and the family, they didn't agree with what was going on, and they came to a vote. Even though the girls are disagreeing and kind of an uproar of what is the vision of the business. But Mia, the way she was talking, she seemed pretty confident. So let's take for what she says is truth, because who would want to be in the financial bind and have to move out of Potomac after investing over $60,000? Over $60,000 in repairs and improvements. Come on. She has to have some sense of what she's talking about. So she had to move, sell off some rental properties, and also kind of adjust to a new living situation, because she has admitted, and I love Mia's openness from this because she keeps it real, because I cannot see any other girl admitting to what Mia is admitting. She is saying that no money is coming in and that she's virtually living off of savings and what she gets from her other job hustles and whatnot. So I respect Mia. I love to see Mia. I hope Mia is here to stay. Even though she's so shady and she does things that are questionable, there's something about her openness is perfect for reality TV. And I hope that she continues and have more of an opportunity to showcase her life here for us in the Housewives of Potomac. I hope so. So I want to get into a little side moment. This was in between of them getting ready to continue filming. And Andy is talking to, I believe, Giselle's girls who's FaceTiming while driving. And he said, no. And he hangs up. Or I don't know, maybe it was not her daughters. I don't know who it was, but it was to someone. And he was being a good friend for sure, because no one else can not be. Someone cannot be a good friend and not tell you that you should prioritize driving safely and not to do this FaceTime business. Come on, guys, hands free. Let's keep the phones on in the socket, aside, away, and not interfering with your driving. Okay, so Andy was talking to Giselle, and Giselle just had a curious question. And producer Giselle, I have to ask her questions, and she asked Andy if he's ever been with a woman. Andy, I'm surprised he's as open, because he is the host. So he has to keep some sort of professionalism. But he opens up and he says to her, no, he hasn't, but he would like to. So that leads to nosy Giselle, asking Andy, how old are you? Andy's only 54. And Giselle, she kind of makes a pact with him. He said, okay, when you turn 60 and it hasn't happened, let me know and I'll do it for you. And I'm like, you'll do it for him. And, funny enough, Andy, he sees the HR problems in this, so he laughs it off. But I think he takes her on. And Giselle is a beautiful woman, and he's complimented on her beauty. So who knows what's in the future for Andy with Giselle at 60? I'm definitely gonna, if I was Andy's friend and he's turning 60, I would ask him, are you gonna cash out on Giselle's deal? Are you? I hope so. So next in the hot seat is Candiace, Miss Candiace. And she's the last one on the hot seat for this episode. And I feel like this is really good because, you end the episode hot, and then we look forward to the next episode to see the other girls on the hot seat. So I like how we set up. We go a little light, heavy, and then we get into juicy. So, Candiace had a season, okay? Candiace, she started off telling us about freezing eggs, her singing career, but, the not so fun part was her having issues with Giselle, making allegations about her husband. And so, obviously, first thing first, we have to address the elephant in the room. So, what we learned first is that after filming, Chris had sent Giselle a DM, and he apologized if he made Giselle feel uncomfortable. And Giselle, she takes it as an admission, and Giselle's gonna run with it. You give her an inch, she's gonna take it a mile. So Giselle runs with it and says that, look, this is him admitting to it. But what Candiace makes us all remember and realize is that message was sent before having seen what was said on air on the show. So seeing what was said on the air on the show changes a lot, because pretty much Giselle dragged Chris through the mud. Like, I would not be surprised if Chris lost a lot. Like, he said it himself. He had to explain himself not only to his family, but to his business work partners and whatnot. And that's like, come on, outrageous, Especially for something that you feel like, that was not your intent, but you do apologize if the person was uncomfortable, because you never want someone to feel some kind of way, And so we have to address Giselle. So Candiace, she addresses Giselle. She says, you have said some falsehoods, The one being that calling Chris a sneaky link. Like, what are you trying to say when you refer to a husband as a sneaky link? You're referring to him as cheating, actually actively doing so, not more than just making you uncomfortable, but doing something, Calling someone a sneaky link is like you saying they're doing something. So when Candiace brings this up, all of a sudden Giselle wants to slide. She wants to slide her apology and tries to move forward. And even though she tried to give this apology, Candiace is not taking it. She sees right through it. She's like, all of a sudden you want to slide in this apology? And this is where, Giselle wants us to feel like, she was saying her truth. Like, she doesn't feel like she was saying something out of line. She was saying what was happening in her truth. But what was the biggest question of it all was that all this could have been said at any moment, because they hang out after that reunion when that happened. And that at any point Giselle could have came forward and talked to Candiace about this, and she could have addressed her husband. But the issue is that Giselle waited when the cameras were rolling to really say something about it. So that's why everyone's looking at her sideways, because they're saying, why would you wait? Do you need this as a storyline? And Candiace, she reversed it. She says, you could have used your dwindling uterus as a storyline. That's what had to happen for you to have a storyline. And I'm like, damn. And then Miss Wendy, she had her moment. Wendy, she interjects. She's like, Giselle, you have a pattern of going after people's marriages, which is true. But, Giselle, she wants to rebuke and say that no, she talks about everybody equally. She mentions Michael Darby. She mentions Thornton, on everyone pretty much on the cast that she brings up. But, Wendy tries to say to her, no. This is your pattern. And they cannot believe that Giselle would have good intentions otherwise to have a storyline. So it's hard to believe Giselle trying to say this is her coming forward as a truth when we have seen and witnessed Giselle's pattern. And, I just realized something. Even though I was on Wendy for not doing enough on this reunion, Karen didn't say much. I just realized right now, Karen she made like some comments about Robin getting married, but aside from that, Miss Miss Karen Huger was quite quiet on the first part of this reunion. That's for sure. I just realized that. So, okay, back to Candiace. So, Giselle, she apologized for calling calling Chris a sneaky leak. And pretty much Candiace is like, take that apology and shove it up your booty hole. And I'm like, not the booty hole. Oh my God. And ironically, Robin, she comes out saying that, we can let's all agree that it's not the best idea for a married man to be in a hotel room with a single woman. And I'm like, is she setting up the groundworks for the possibility that the information about Robin and Hotel Receipt Gate comes out? Like, this is already set up. Because I wonder how strategic, these ladies are thinking. Because remember, this was filmed before the whole world knew what happened with Juan and Receipt Gates, This is all before that. So I when she said that, I'm like, she said it so slowly and so articulate that I was wondering if this is a setup to set the stage of when that comes out, that people are not so harsh towards Robin, and that, look at Robin being so supportive of Candiace's husband, so she would expect the same support. I think that is interesting, and I like that she almost got away with it, but not so fast. Not so fast, because the lady did come forward and she did expose the receipts. She exposed the receipts, and now we're looking at Robin sideways, because we're like, why were you all on board of having Candiace back? Because usually Robin, she go together with her bestie, her best friend Giselle. So we wonder, what's the intention? What's the motive? What's the motivation? Okay. So that was super, super, super interesting that she came over and said that. So, and I want to get to Candiace. Candiace gave us some good news. So I was happy for Candiace. Candiace says, remember, she was freezing her eggs in the beginning of the season because her priority was not only singing in her music career, but also having a family with her husband, Chris. So she froze eggs, and she has successfully 6 embryos waiting in a jar somewhere in some clinic. And I'm like, good for you, Candiace. And Candiace, she got so emotional because she's like, I could have 6 kids if I want to. And I'm like, you sure can, Miss Generational Wealth? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's why she's working so hard, So she was super emotional, and I was super happy for Candiace, because Candiace, she had a rough couple of seasons. Like, they all like Candiace really holds her own. Like, they came for Candiace when she first came on to this franchise, with her relationship with her mother. Everyone was so critical about her relationship with her mother, her relationship with her husband, her relationship with the other girls. Like, Candiace really have found her footing and can really hold her own in this franchise. And I hope she's here to stay, because I love Candiace. Candiace, she's like the Phaedra Parks, if you will. But more shadier. I love it. There's something about Candiace, So we didn't hear much more about what's going on with Candiace and as far as her singing career, but I'm pretty sure she'll be in the hot seat again, because these girls, they have issues with each other, and it's just like oof, 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 it doesn't stop. So I look forward to the next episode and seeing the previews. I'm invested. Like, even though this season wasn't as good as other seasons, something about these previews, they get me every time. Like, I can't wait. Oh, I cannot wait when it's Robin and Karen on the hot seat. Like, yes. Like, oof, I'm scared because I love Ray, but damn, they're gonna have to address some things. And I know Ray's here. Oh, by the way, Juan did not show up. Juan is not here today. So Juan is not there. Everyone's husband showed up, for the ones who have husband, aside for Robin, which I do think Robin's husband should have came, especially if you just got married on the show. Like, come on, that would have been classy. That would have been a classic. Like, look, he only showed up until he was the husband, you know? So I look forward to the next episode, and I hope you enjoyed this recap. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. Come on, join the gang. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.